So here it is, J.C. Brown, alias John Benjamin Body, was rich enough to bring in his own personal valet, plus 3 civil engineers. So I continued looking, Vickens, and the next border crossing, which was interesting, in 1910, this is 3 years after he brought the engineers in, when he was asked on the form, have you ever been in the United States before, he lied and said no.
Wow. Why do you think he said that?
Well, you tell me. So
No.
then, the following year, in 1911, he's accompanied again by Lord Cowdray of the mining company himself, and they crossed the border together in 1911. So I found a total of 13 border crossings from Mexico into Laredo, Texas from the years 1903 to 1933. So here it is. They claimed he disappeared in 34. So here it is. I pretty much got this man's track record as to where he was, and I can even place him in the States around that time when he appears in the office of the Stockton Record.
Wow. That must have been a lot of hours you put in that library.
No, I'm telling you. Yeah, well, my behind was sore after all that research.
Wow. That's dedication out there, so, it's really cool. I noticed you, when you go to the library, are you on a computer as well, using it? Because I know you uncovered something in Microsoft software at one point.
Oh, yes. The Microsoft thing was interesting. A friend of mine shared a story with me about this fellow who had worked for the CIA, and he was flying what he thought was pharmaceuticals, and he was having a rough landing. When he landed the cargo plane, one of the containers in the back slid all the way to the front and slammed open. He realized that it really wasn't pharmaceuticals, but he had either cocaine or heroin or some drug. He was told by his boss, who was Oliver North, who I'm sure the name Oliver North you've heard before the Iran-Contra when they were laundering money back in the 80s. He was told to shut his mouth, grow a beard, and forget what he was doing and just keep doing what he was doing. Well, he decided he couldn't sleep with himself, but after a while he went public and he put up a website, and it was about the secret codes of Microsoft Word, and I have a video up right now, Microsoft Reveal Part 1 through 4, and in the first one, the man explains the codes, and if you go to your computer and you follow my directions, how changing the font and doing certain things, you'll be able to see what the secret government doesn't want you to know about. So Chips was killed thereafter. As soon as he went public with this information, I think a year later, they took him out. So but I got the story. I put it up anyway, and I then did some more research, and I started to play around with other Microsoft buttons and stuff. And in Part 2, 3, and 4, for you viewers who want to learn what's on your computer, you'll see other things regarding the secret codes that are on the computer. So finally, I contacted Microsoft and I asked them about it.
Yeah.
And they said to me that they were aware of it, that they had a third-party contractor who that software, but it was too late. So now millions of people have a computer that is what the spies use to communicate with each other. But the fact I put it out there, these guys probably realize that maybe somebody who's smarter than me will figure out what they're really saying to one another, or maybe they've changed the way they operate. But yeah, I did go public with that. At the same time, Vickens, a lot of people won't believe what I'm saying. But as I said, go to my YouTube.com Sindoni Productions site, or just look up Microsoft Reveal Part 1 through 4, and you'll be able to, for yourself, stop it, write down my instructions, and you'll see for yourself what's on your computer while you're offline, what you'll learn. It's strange. And as I said, I share things with people. You can believe it or not, but you know what? Check it out for yourself. Make your own. But I don't make this up. You can try it, for you to ask me that question, you probably already tried it on your computer, and you know everything I'm saying is accurate.
Yeah, I definitely know we gotta be careful, even with all these new technologies, video games and things like Xbox Connect that can has 3 different cameras on it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even need a controller, and it just sees you.
Well, I'll give you another one for you. When they decided to go DirecTV, which was an interesting one, I said to myself, this was back before 2000. I was working for in the 90s actually, I was working for Circuit City. They were an electronics company, and I was a video salesman at the time. And they were telling us in 1988, 12 years before 2000. In 2000, they were going to go to higher resolution TVs, DirecTV, and TVs are going to change. And the government was going to get involved, and they were going to change things the way they were. And I'm going why would the government? This is over 12 years ago. And I'm thinking, why would the government want to get involved with the televisions and the broadcast modes? And then I found out why. And the reason is because the TV sets today, are watching and listening everybody in America. There's 67 million homes that right now that your TVs, because of these decoder boxes, the secret government has the ability to listen and monitor everybody's home in America who has a TV or on cable or DirecTV.
Wow, because it's like an internet digital connection.
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I challenged one person when I did a video. I said, take your TV to an electronics store and have the guy take it apart and see what he finds. And lo and behold, someone else came out with a video, and they said they found it. And what they were told is that these TVs now have the capability for that way when they go where you can TV and the phone and the cables are all connected, you could then answer the phone and I could watch you on a TV screen. So they already put this technology in all these TV sets. It's called future technology, multimedia future technology, but they're using it right now to eavesdrop and listen and watch unsuspecting American TV people. Americans sit there watching TV, eating bonbons and pretzels and watching football. It's amazing.
Wow, taking surveys and stuff like that.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I tell people, I don't need a TV. I pull the plug out of the wall, or the cable box. Or watch movies without being online, DirecTV and all that. When I watch a movie, I go rent one, and I wouldn't have a direct signal because I know, anything you say, can be used and held against you. Somebody could be growing drugs in your house, for example. All of a sudden, somebody shows up and says, we're here to arrest you. Like, how? Well, we saw you on TV.
Yeah, wow.
I make a joke out of it, but my point is, what if I'm right?
But it's true, though. It's true.
Exactly. If a leopard has spots, a leopard's got spots,
And when you're discovering new leopard, we definitely got to put it out there.
Well, yeah. Is there anything else that, you just brought, that was a pretty good one because I wasn't even thinking about sharing that today. Is there anything else that you...
Oh, yeah, definitely. For people that are out there on the line that called in, we're going to go off live at 9 o'clock. So just keep on trucking. We'll continue talking. Yeah, I definitely know you do a lot, and I want to make sure people know they can speak to you directly on SindoniSays.web.com, right?
That is correct.
So that's SINDONISAYS.webs.com. So everybody that is in the chat room that just came on, be sure to go on there and check them out. To stick with us guys, we have Steven Sindoni with Sindoni Productions on the line, who's really uncovered a lot. He spits truth about the FBI. You can check it out on YouTube right now. About Obama and what's really going on, and the people out there. So, what do you feel like energy-wise you can do to start to really, get to the?
Well, I just got a prompt saying 10 seconds. I don't know what that means, but hopefully
we're good.
Okay. Well, basically, in 10 seconds, I would have said.
No, we're good. The show will just keep going on.
Okay, what can people do? I'll tell you what they can. Well, I tell you what they should do. I think that they should start realizing that they need to create the change. Right now, the first thing, I mean, there's a saying, the buck stops here. I'll give you an example. If everybody put out their intention right now, and I wish they would, listen to what I'm saying very strongly, and say, you know what, either I got kids, I know somebody got kids, or I might want to have children. I don't want any more wars. Do you have, put the question to everybody out there, do you have adequate health insurance, dental, medical? Do you have coverage? Do you have, everything taken care of? The answer is no. Then you want every troop who's stationed abroad to come back home. I'll tell you why. Because right now, they're spending $700 million a day in 100 bases all over the world. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but I can tell you this. If they just brought the troops home, Afghanistan, Iraq, and all these places, they could rebuild America. Everybody would have health care, medical, and this would be the greatest country ever put out on the planet in the history of civilization.
Why do you think America feels like it has to flex its muscles so hard, though? Like why can't it just chill and, do what you just said, give money to the people? Well,
here's why. As long as you have fat cats, you have bankers who are calling shots, as long as you have the Federal Reserve Bank, who is an illegal corporation that loans money to a government that's bankrupt and charges interest from the moment that they borrow it, you could never come out of debt. John F. Kennedy in 1963 enacted a law, it was Executive Order number 111100, 4110, and it was to do away with the Federal Reserve Bank. What he wanted to do was to back our currency with silver. There was about $4 billion worth of currency of silver, actual silver that we had, and back it, and American people would start getting those dollars, and then they would pay off the Federal Reserve Bank the money they owed them, and they would do away with them. Well, 6 months after John Kennedy had the money begin printing, they had 10s, 20s, and $2. That's when the $2 bills, I believe, came out. 6 months later, they decided they were going to kill him in front of Dealey Plaza and make an example of him by shooting him in the head. So, because of that, there could have been a change. There could have, the country would not be in the shape it is in, because then we would have not had to borrow from a private company, the Federal Reserve Bank, and then these bankers now wouldn't have control over everything we say and we do.
I know, they just buy things over, whole networks, and they fire people. It's crazy what these people with long money can do.
Well, I'll give you another example. The other day, I saw yesterday, that the Federal Reserve now wants to loan us, the government, $600 billion in bonds. Well, wait a minute. We don't want your money because we got to pay interest on that. So how do you get out of debt? And the American people aren't smart enough to see that all this money Obama gave away. Who did he give it to? Didn't give it to the people who needed it. And who did he hire from his cabinet? The same old tired suspects, from the Clinton regime that were all corrupt. So you look at it like, what change did you give me, fella? Did you change your socks today? I wonder.
Right.
Because you didn't change anything. I mean, you look at campaign promises. Show me one. Just show me one.
And they just put $750 billion right back to the war, and he's saying of how they're going to come back.
Well, I just heard the other day, he had Biden, Joe Biden, Joe the plumber, I would call him, tell the American people that we're going to be in Afghanistan until 2014.
Wow.
And nobody said anything. Hello?